Hi, Simon Clark here again. I want to talk to you a bit more about writing a book. I give my help and advice in my How to Write and Publish a Book for Free book. This is the current 2019 version. There's various of them on there on Amazon, but look out for this one. It's the current one. In fact, it's the only one that's available. I tend to take off anything that I've updated. So try and keep this as updated as possible. I'll put a link in the description. I keep as updated as possible because things change. When I first started publishing my own books through Amazon, it's through a thing called CreateSpace. So if someone mentioned CreateSpace to them, say I know what it is, and then they need to go and look at KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing. This is how Amazon do all of their books and ebooks these days. It also means it's very easy to link together your ebook and your book. It's a lot easier than it used to be. It's all explained in the book, so don't worry about it. So what qualifications do you actually need to start writing a book? Well, I'm an engineer, so I'm buggered. Basically, when you're writing a description of a defect, you describe the defect. You don't get into how the defect feels, what sort of a day the defect is having. There's a hole in the panel in the centre caused by a bullet, or bird strike, or whatever else it is. That's what you're describing. You don't get descriptive like you do in a novel or even a factual book. People want to be able to visualise it in their minds. So how do you get there? So first of all, you don't need a degree in English. I don't have a degree in English. You don't need A-levels. I don't have any A-levels. When I was at school, it was CSCs, now it's GCSEs. If you've got some life experience and you've got some writing ability, you can sit down at the keyboard, you can tap away. Even if you can't, we'll come back to that in a minute. Then you have what it takes. There's only 4 things you need. You need an idea. You need a dream. For about 5 years, I really wanted to write my own book. And I wrote a beautiful chapter 1, and I started on chapter 2 and I paused it for the day, the week, the month, forget it, it's gone. Some people really like planning the books, and that's fine. Some people, I can't remember who the author was, but he used to go to his place on holiday, sit on a beach with a table and his typewriter, and he wrote word 1, page 1, and he sat and wrote the book all the way through. Some people don't do that. I've done things before where I've written this section, that section, and then you sort of write up towards it, feed yourself into it. You can sort of do that. But basically, if you have the determination, you have the want and the desire, then you can write a book. The publishing part's easy. The publishing part will take you half an hour. The Amazon website is so good. Put your words on the back cover, help you build the cover. Do you want a picture on it? You can use your own picture, you can use a different picture. You can use one of those, they provide those. All the book sizing. The first book I published, in fact the second one as well. The publishing company that I went through, they said, oh no, you need special software, we have to do the layup, and we have to do, it took weeks. Amazon, it takes about 10 minutes, honestly. You just click and put it in, bang, it'll do it. In fact, you can even download the book format that you want, so that your Word document will be in that format before it uploads. So where paragraphs end, when new ones start with it, all that can be sorted out before you upload it. And if not, you do it en route, it's on the book. But basically, you just need to have the determination. People say to me, oh, I'd like to write a book, but, I haven't got the time. Would you have half an hour at lunchtime? I've written 2 or 3 of my books, half an hour at lunchtime. Even if you don't do Friday, that's 2 hours a week. I can crack out 1,000 words in half an hour. Okay, I need to spend some time thinking about what I'm going to write before I get to lunchtime. So you're just writing out what's in your head. You're just emptying your mind out. So that's the way that I do it. There's also a thing called hypnotic writing. Joe Vitale has, I don't know if the book's called Hypnotic Writing or it's in a book about writing, but Joe Vitale, absolutely superb. And basically, put a screen over you, or put something over your screen so you can't see it on your computer, and you type. You just do the story and type. When you pull the guard away, the cardboard, whatever, it's full of blotches and all sorts of things. That's fine. The story is there. You just need to start sorting it out, start editing it. I don't want to get into editing in this one, but basically, if you fancy writing a book, do it. Open a Word document if you need. Download Word. I think there's a Google Word app or something. Sit down at the keyboard, preferably. Doesn't always work. Anyway, just sit down at a keyboard and start typing. Put down a basic title, a title, a working title. That's what I call them. I think a lot of industries are basically the same. It's the title you're using for now. That's all it is. You've got half a dozen ideas for your book, so write those down. Those could be your sections of the book. You've written a sentence. What does that sentence contain? You have some more ideas, and you put those in, and then you sort of create those, and that gives you your basic outline of your book. And then start typing. I've done it before where I've got two characters. They coming out of the car. They're walking across here, and they're walking into the building. And I was like, a quarter of a page, half a page, jeepers, anything longer than that, you count the daisies, 5 pages later, they still haven't got into the building. The conversation has turned when I wasn't expecting it to go that certain route, and did, it just flows. Something I don't know if you know about writing books, and this probably works for so many other things, works for poetry, probably works for music and songs. We don't write them. We channel them. And this sounds very strange. There was a lady in America in the 1950s. As a young girl, she wrote absolutely awesome poetry. And what she said was that she could see the poems coming. So basically she had to get a pen and paper and write them down. But sometimes she was too late to get the pen and paper, so she had to grab hold of it by the end of it. And what she wrote was the poem backwards. In fact, I think it was even William Shakespeare who said that he didn't create all the words and things that he put down paper. We seem to get a basic idea, and we seem to channel it through. You don't have to think about it, you just do it. You can sit and type it sometimes, it's not coming, but sometimes, other times, it absolutely flows. And in fact, I've even got to say to them, can you just slow down a minute? I can't type that fast. You end up with a right mess on the page, but the story's there. You end up with letters attached to previous words and next words, and you got a T and an O, and they're not. It's all good funny. You can sort it out. That's the main sort of point. But anyway, there's a couple of stories I want to tell you. I went down to London a couple of years ago now to an event organised by book publishers. It's how to send things. Let me just go back a little bit. To get the general way of doing it, the old-fashioned way of doing this was, if you want to get a book to a book publisher, you had to go to an agent. You get your information to an agent, they sort it out and pass it to the book publishers that they know that are looking for this sort of work, right? So how do we best get it to the agent in a way that they will appreciate it, like it more, and potentially do something with it? And that's the sort of course that I went down on. And basically these people introduced themselves, and this guy stood on the stage. Well, I went to Oxford and I studied history. And I'm thinking, there's no way you're going to read the tripe that I write. Most people will, but you won't. So if I send my information to you, you're not going to be interested. So that's why it's difficult to get into book publishers. I've recently got a book publisher contract. It's a different format to standard. So you can publish a book for free on Amazon. The book will tell you how to do that. You can try and go through an agent, some people do, to get to a book publisher, or the new method is book publishers actually look at themselves. Okay, that's fine. But a second incident I want to tell you about, which was absolutely awesome. I published my first book in end of 2010, early 2011. And I was proud of it. It's a self-help book. It's my first book. I put this all together, sent it off, got it published. I got copies of the book back. I got my book in my hands. That feels awesome. I can't tell you how wonderful that feels. So I thought, I'd like to get one framed. So I found a place where I can go and get my book framed. The guy looked at me a bit strange. Why do you want to get a book framed? So I wrote it. Oh, you wrote it on your own. Oh, yeah. Okay, great. Anyway, while he was doing that, there was 2 shops down. Was like a big kitchen shop. So I just went to have a wander around. Chatted to a lady on the checkout. She was very interested in self-help. So I nipped home about 10 minutes away, came back and gave her a book. Anyway, following week I came back to try and see her and see if she'd sort of read any of it. Anyway, so I'm wandering around and this lady came up and asked a different lady asked if she could help. And I said, actually, I was looking to see if whatever the lady's name was in. She said, don't know. You're that book author. That felt so amazing. It really, really did. It really did. I've seen people look at my author webpage, that I used to have on at the moment, but I might do by the time you get to look at this. That's brilliant. So we sat at work. I just want to see someone on holiday or in a bar or something, just sat reading a book, one of my books. Oh, looks all right, mate. How's it going? Talk about it. They're brilliant. Anyway, have a look. Find the link. Have a look. See, it's about £5-6. I think it's less than $10. You know, it can change your life. Hopefully. All right. You have good fun, and I'll be putting another video out in the next week or so on other aspects. Let's look at edited decks. All right. You take care. Goodbye.